Oh, welcome to the show, everybody.
Hello.
So, PBnJ Podcast, episode 101.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
So,
one
just
more than
bopping a
100.
little bit to some music in the background. You can't hear it, but I can hear it.
And really, isn't that what matters in our audio-only format? That we hear?
Uh-huh.
Get fucked, y'all.
So, this show might be a little different. You'll notice we have no jelly filling today. He is currently on vacation. Where this may be a video YouTube exclusive. It kind of depends on how lazy me or Bryce is at the end of this.
I see.
They would like to thank you for choosing their crew. Anyway, so we have a couple of things going on today. Bryce is a record setter. We'll get into that.
Yes.
I spawned an extra pair of eyes.
And a record breaker, by the way.
Yeah. I would like to talk a little bit about video game scene today. I would like to maybe get into a little. Oh, and a crazy stuff happened in my life recently, so I can't talk about it too much. Ongoing stuff, but we're gonna have a little chitty chatty
It's an
chat.
ongoing investigation, so please understand.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we're gonna skip the formalities. And Nick Salt vape that tastes like melons is amazing. In case anybody didn't know that. So yeah. Hey, actually, Bryce, when I was at the vape shop the other day, he was trying to get me to get the cool. What is it? Like Cool Breeze or.
Wait, Cool Breeze?
No, Cool Melon. I don't know. I don't fucking know. It's super mentholy, and when you hit it, you go.
That's my favorite type.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't vaped in a little bit.
Yeah.
I now want to, now that you've reminded me of the wonders of menthol.
Yeah.
The very cool, excuse me, Naked 100 berry menthol blend is absolutely fantastic. So there are a lot of things that we're going to be talking about, and by a lot of things, I don't know how many things, but
yeah, we have no idea.
Number of things. We're kind of winging it today.
We usually spend time planning. You know, I know we joke that we don't, right? But we usually do.
We do start off with like a little bit of like here's what we're going to talk about, and here's a general order, and if we make that order, great. If not, fuck it, we'll figure it out. We didn't list what we're going to talk about beforehand, and we also didn't come up with a fake order. So
nope.
100 winging it. We didn't even check to see who introduces this week.
Oh yeah, no,
we didn't do an official introduction.
It's fine. I mean, we can do it right now. Welcome to the PBnJ Podcast.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah.
That seemed official enough. You know?
It did. It was totes official. So I guess I'm gonna kind of start us off a little bit. So, recently I invested in a new video game. I've been playing Anthem.
Right.
I love this game. It's awesome.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. It's awesome. Like, so you have like essentially break it down for the non-video gamers. You have a like a robot suit, right?
With
some crazy
jetpacks.
Yeah, you do, and you can like the best part of the game is flying around and the combat. Like you could swoop down from above. It's pretty fucking sick.
Yes.
Now, what I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit is the downfall of this game, the horrible reviews that it gets, as great as a game as it is. And I want to blame EA.
Honestly. EA stands for everything's awful. So
everything is awful. Yeah.
It's no longer Electronic Arts. It's everything's awful.
Yeah.
EA really does know how to fuck anything up that they touch. One of the biggest problems that really kicked Anthem early on was that Anthem lost momentum to start it off because their servers, when they first opened, just didn't work. So you had your game, you paid to get it early because there was a lot
Yep.
of people who did the pre-order, and they
Yep.
couldn't play until the game was actually released because the servers were just broken.
Yes.
So
Well,
like,
there's that, and even now it's been out for a while. What, 4 or 5 months, something like that.
yeah, something like that.
And it'll glitch sometimes. You'll just get booted from the game.
Yeah.
Like that. But it's good enough content, in my opinion, to kind of to deal with it. But here's the kick.
Mhm.
The version of the game that I have is
Right.
$80.
Oof.
80 doll hairs. However, I only paid $30 retail at Wally World for it.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
So how does a game that's 4 or 5 months old that launched at $80 cost
Sell for
fucking
30?
$30?
You want to know how? Because it didn't do well in its initial sales, and they needed to make up the sales numbers. Because people heard all that shit talk early on that all these major content creators had created.
Mm-hmm.
This game talked up a big game, and then they didn't deliver right away. And because of it, the momentum just stopped, and people didn't buy the game because they're like, "Oh, it's just shit." So,
Well, I mean, that's why I didn't buy it when it came out. I
yeah,
mean, we're
same.
being honest. And a good friend of ours, Neil, he let me close that. He orders everything
He
before it
does.
ever.
He does like multiple pre-orders so he can get all the different like pre-order exclusives. He's the guy who has the billion like pre-order boxes, special edition, a featured
and it's cool fucking shit too.
It's
like
cool shit.
I'm not talking smack. I mean,
and
it's
we're,
awesome
yeah,
he
we're
can
not.
do that.
I wish I had the secret rich money that he has.
Yeah, right. You're not as secret rich. Yeah,
I'm not Neil level secret rich.
no, nobody is.
Nobody is by like multiple rows in a movie theater secret rich like Neil.
Yeah. So the game though, the content's great, and all the DLC and stuff they're releasing and yada yada is just free. It's part of the game.
Right.
And I guess it's always been that way. Like, it's not because the downfall of the game or whatever, right? So, like most games, I like to join like a Facebook group or a Reddit group or something, about the game. Because even though my friends all have PlayStations, like Bryce, according to his profile, hasn't even been on in like 4 months or something like that. So, not everybody gets to play with me all the time. So I like to make friends on the interwebs that play the same game. This Facebook is full of nothing but people who write 3-paragraph long complaint statements about why the game they currently play is garbage. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes me laugh so hard because, and then there'll be, by the time I even catch the thread, 140 comments, Yeah. And it's nothing but people
shitting
shitting on it. And then one guy will be like, well, I mean, I like it. And then everybody then shits on that guy.
Yeah.
Like they go from talking shit on the game to talking shit on the dude. It's fucking hilarious. Now this happens to a lot of games though, and they never come back. What was it? Andromeda, Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that game took a fucking dump on itself right when it came out.
Well, I mean, there were so many fucking weird things with that game, with like facial animations and like just the glitches with how characters interacted with each other. Like, you had 3 different Mass Effect games that weren't perfect. Don't get me wrong. There was some weird shit in those games.
But they were amazing games, though.
They were amazing games, and they weren't broken to the point where just a casual play... You had to try to break them to get those results. This one, on a casual playthrough, you can have somebody's skull warp through their face.
Yes.
Like, that would just
Or their
happen.
mouth. Their whole head would be their mouth.
Yeah, like, just things that should not happen without editing, like, some fucking serious code. It's just like, hey, we just didn't test this game at all.
So, but Anthem feels like it's made by 2 fucking different companies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like the area that's like where you walk around and get your missions and that shit, right?
Right.
That is single player only.
Okay.
No one else can be in there with you. This doesn't instance other people. However, the game is an only multiplayer game. You can set it to private. Play by yourself, you can. But the game itself is only multiplayer.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to not have your hub world.
feels like two completely different games.
Yeah.
Even the movement, like how you control it and whatnot, feels different. Like,
Well, yeah.
they did a shit fucking job on it. But the game itself is still redeeming, and I freaking like it. So fuck all you haters. That's really the only reason I brought it up. Now, I beat it already. It only took me like 4 days.
Only took me like 4 days. Like, whatever.
I sort of played nonstop.
Got mountain son.
Yeah. So now I know that the other day, right? So I'm sitting there pew-pewing away, and I get this weird message from Bryce talking about he's a world record holder.
I am a world record holder.
Okay. Tell me about this, because I too am a world record holder for the total amount of times I need to be picked up in any given match in any given game. So
I mean, I guess that's a record. I've been doing a little bit of speed running, and I started speed running Monster Hunter World, which Monster Hunter,
that's a new game, yeah.
2018 was when it released, so it's fairly new. They're still releasing content for it, and actually, there's a major DLC coming up called Iceborne. It's gonna be sick.
Sick, son.
I'm actually really. It's basically the release of a sequel within the game with how much content they're packing into this fucking DLC.
See, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So I'm really excited about it.
How much is that game retail for right now?
Monster Hunter World? The base game. Does it still sell for $60? Let's see. Yep, $60.
Yeah. So, and that game is pushing a year almost. I would be willing to bet.
Yes.
So there's a good,
year.
And that's the base game that stayed $60. I bought Anthem's awesome part of their game
for 30.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with Monster Hunter World, it's a game where you hunt big ass monsters by yourself
around the world,
or with multiplayer, if you choose to. But I sped run it, and I got the fastest time, so I'm a world record holder. But what's funny about that is the reason why I got the fastest time is no one has submit runs for the PC version of Monster Hunter World. So my run was the only one submit for the category I sent in. So while I'm a record holder, it's only because nobody else is running that particular category on PC. I have a feeling now that I have a time, people are going to realize, oh, wait, that is available. And then they'll run it and beat my time and kick the shit out of me. To be fair, though, my time is still good enough to be 6th in the world for the times that have been submitted on console. So I still did good, but it's not a first place run by any means.
And now, but so we're talking speed run. How long? Give me an idea.
So the category I ran was colossal task percent, which is getting to a specific mission and beating that mission and completing the story up to that point. And it took me 4 hours and 25 minutes and some change. And your average player, it would probably take 15, 20 hours to get to that point.
What?
Yeah. So it was fun. Now, I did the murder.
Did you do something special to get there, or?
I killed things really fast. I planned out a upgrade path for a specific weapon that doesn't take too many materials and I wouldn't have to farm for. Okay. And then I planned out the fights with each individual monster, because in this game, there's a lot of cool mechanics. Like, for one, when you're hunting monsters, you actually can pick up their tracks on the ground, and there's these things called scout flies that will run forth and will give you like a trail to follow, almost like bullshit mythic GPS.
Okay.
To said monster by hunting down their tracks. But you can also see, like, there's creatures that live in the world that aren't the monsters. They're just regular, everyday, like, endemic life. And based on whether or not the monster's been there recently, they will react. So, like, there are certain creatures that will take a defensive formation with each other if there's a predator nearby. So if you see them in a defensive formation, you're like, oh shit, it's been here recently, I should look for tracks. Stuff like that.
Okay.
So knowing where the monsters are going to be and not necessarily needing the track system, just having a good idea of where they like to hang out, running there, planning how I'm going to fight them as fast as possible, and then just murdering the fucking shit out of them. And then capturing them, because capturing them is faster than killing. And yeah, that's it. That's really all there is to it. It's
Man, good fucking job though, right?
it's a pretty good time. It's a pretty fun time.
So, how long do you think until somebody else submits something?
I would give it a month before someone else realizes and actually takes the time to beat my run, because there are a lot of people who have faster times on console who own the PC version. They just only run on console, because in Japan, for individual hunt times, they have a bunch of rules, including that you can only use the PC version, or not the PC version, the console version. But for any percents, there's no such rules, and it's not a Japanese run category. So it's one of those things where the PC version's fine to play. And I think a lot of people just assumed it wasn't because of all the rules surrounding individual levels. And by me doing this will show that that's not true.
Do you have records in any other games?
I had a record in a joke category in Earthbound for all of 5 minutes. It was Frank Percent, which is the first boss in that game, getting there and beating the first boss as fast as possible. And I had it for all of 5 minutes until someone saw that I had it, and they're like, wait, that's a category? Then they ran it and beat my time by like 4 minutes, and it was like a 20-minute category. So 4 minutes is a lot.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where I've had records before, but it was always shit like this, where either no one ran it in a long time and things have changed since the last time it was run, or no one submitted a run.
Now, do they not like people playing on or doing these runs on PC because they can possibly cheat? Like,
well, that's why the Japanese didn't like it for individual levels, is because manipulating AI and tool-assisted running would be insane and very possible. But what's crazy is a lot of those consoles now are hacked to the point where you can do the same things on PC what you could do on the consoles for like editing game files and modding in shit.
Yeah, but it's way harder to do, though.
It is harder to do, but that also makes it harder to detect.
Well, it's like in, oh my god, what's the game? The dungeon crawler game. Diablo 4.
Okay.
3? 2.
There is
2.
Diablo 3.
3. I don't know. The one we played together.
No,
anyway.
Diablo 3. Diablo 2 is like 1990 early 2000s.
Yeah.
Like
I bought for $1 on eBay hacked gear.
Yep.
Right? For $1. And the guy sent it in the mail in the game to me. And whenever I play that game, we haven't played in a while, but whenever I play that game and I just feel like running new people through the hardest possible stuff, I'll throw that gear on, and it's a fucking blast. But I don't agree with modding in multiplayer games, if we're honest. Like right now, a big thing that's going on, and something that I'm still pretty stuck in, is in Elite Dangerous, right? Space trucking game.
Yes.
On the PC, now you can hack the game.
Yes.
That is due to poor server updates on Frontier's behalf, I think, but whatever. You can essentially make yourself invincible. You can make it so you can one-shot stuff, make it so you don't ever run out of fuel, like that kind of shit.
Infinite cargo space.
Yeah.
All the tons.
All of the tons. But the community is fucking pissed about it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a multiplayer game like that, especially like that, it throws the balance off so massively. You know?
And that's the thing about it, is for Elite Dangerous, the whole point of that game is the grind.
That's really what it is.
Working really hard to get that next ship so you can make that money back in half the time, because you have double the cargo space for your next ship. And then you just keep building up and upgrading your ships and doing stuff. And then you start farming for reputation with different factions, so that way you can gain access to their ship exclusives. It's all just grinding.
Yeah.
for different things. And
if there's a cheat to get rid of the grind,
then there's no point in the game. The moment you cheat
it really is.
Elite Dangerous is the moment you've cut out all enjoyment for that game.
Well, okay, so
for yourself.
No, not even, because what they call this now is like seal cub hunting or whatever. And so they'll get these beginner ships, put a hack on it so they can't die, hang out in the newbie area, and just fucking kill people as they start the game.
Yeah, which really does make it to where you're killing the community with shit like that, because when you do that, new players are going to get frustrated and be like, I want a refund on this game. I can't play it. There's just
because it's already a very difficult game.
Yeah, it already has like a very high skill floor to where you have to. It feels like you're actually learning how to fly a fucking ship with all the different buttons you have to figure out and all the different things you have to pay attention to. What's a frame shift drive? Oh my God, what do you mean my hard points are out? I didn't even know I had hard points. How do I put them back? What do you mean I need to put my brake pad down? Where the fuck is that button?
Yeah.
What do you mean C? Why would it be C? Why not B for brake pad? I don't understand.
Well, the funny part is that you can make it even harder on yourself in that game and turn all the assistance stuff off. Yep. So you have to counter everything. Yeah, you need a throttle and stick for that. But yeah, no. It ruins it. In my opinion, I could never do it that way, But in the same fucking vein, if I told you I can hack your fucking wallet right now so that you had infinite money,
right,
you'd want me to do that, right?
In real life, yes.
But isn't the joy the grind for the money?
Not in real life, no. In real life, everything's shit.
Video game, yeah.
In real life, when I have to grind for money, I'm not having fun space trucking in space, being like, wow, this is so different from my everyday life. I'm enjoying myself. I get to do this, and I'm landing this giant cargo ship full of gold or slaves or whatever's valuable that day. Hashtag don't trade slaves. And fucking you make that big bun, that big buck, and you're just really excited. You're just really excited. In real life, you go out and you grind, and your boss is shit, and it's just your life, which is already shit. So you're doing something you hate while doing something you hate.
Yeah.
Whereas with Elite Dangerous, you might be doing something you hate while doing something you love. Like, you may not like doing one system jump runs for quick cash, but you're excited as you get closer to that end. You got music playing. You're like, you know what? It's all going to be worth it once I have that A-class frame shift drive, and then I can jump way the fuck over there.
Yeah, well, and you're not wrong, but it's the same. So you'd think it should be the same for life, and it's not. So it should be like, oh, my fucking boss, I hate my fucking job, And you grind, right? Well, now you can afford, to buy a new game or something. That should be the payoff, and it doesn't work that way. I had this conversation the other day with a parent, because I do that when I'm places with my kids. I gravitate to another dad that's standing there awkward.
Hi, other dad.
Hi, hello.
Let's dad together.
Let us dad together. And then we stand there with our hands on our hips and do dad type activities.
I too mow the lawn. Socks and sandals, sign me up. Fucking dads.
You're not wrong though, man. I don't do the socks and sandals thing. I'll do socks and flip-flops if I happen to already have socks on.
That counts.
Okay. But sandals do the wedge thing because you get the the toe thong, right? And I don't. How do you fucking do that with socks on?
You just shove it in there.
You do. You just ram jam it, and I can't do. I don't like things between the toes. It's weird. No. So we were talking, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm glad it was volleyball." He's like, "Yeah, I'm glad my kid's out here playing fucking video games," and what we started to talk about was whether video games were good or bad. And me, I play a lot of games, or I try to anyway.
Yeah.
I defended immediately.
Of course.
And I was like, it helps reaction time, and it helps, keep your brain sharp, and it helps, that kind of stuff, right? And he's like, yeah, but
essential dread of another miserable day.
Yeah,
so many good things about it.
Bryce is in a place today.
I am.
So But he was like, yeah, but then they're just sitting in there not fucking learning about life. And I was like, well, I mean, what do you mean? And he's
What do you
like,
think about
well,
learning volleyball?
no. He was like, well, outside playing, you learn about this or, nature and yada yada. And all I could think of is A, unnecessary learning. B, it's hot. And even if you are playing outside, what are you learning really that you can imagine to be a samurai or something? Because when you're playing, let's say a game, almost all games have a grind now, right?
Oh yeah.
And whether it be a shooting game, Anthem that I was talking about, even, you have to go and like do a bunch of shit over and over again to try to get a piece of gear, right?
Right.
I think that teaches kids and this
Perseverance.
Perseverance. If you give up, you're a fucking scrub. No, I think it shows that you have to put in hard work to get a reward.
I mean, true.
Right?
Absolutely true.
And what is sending your kid outside to play going to teach them?
I smack ball hard.
That seriously.
I smack ball hard and go fast.
Yeah. Is it teaching, teamwork? Okay, sure. Guess what?
A raid in Destiny will teach you teamwork.
Holy shit.
And especially when you're making do with the people available, because there are some people who are not that great, and you have to teach them and train them how to complete said raid in the time it takes to do the raid.
And see, people might, if you've never done a Destiny raid, you're probably like, it's probably what. No. It's like hours long. It doesn't fucking save.
No,
it doesn't. You have to go and it takes all 4 of your fire team, right? Your team to be able to complete
very specific things, very specific tasks that they have to do within a specific time frame. And if they fail, you start over.
Yes.
So you're teaching these people. It's like teaching someone how to play volleyball in the middle of playing volleyball, and then trying to win. Yeah. Well, and trying to win versus the enemy team. So
it's hard, It
is.
And I think that video games teach you teamwork, teach you that you have to work hard for stuff, helps your reaction time, probably prevents you from smoking weed behind the fence with your friends. Probably not going to do that anyway. But just saying, maybe you won't move on to meth.
Just saying.
So that's my video game rant.
They will, whatever. It's meth.
But he didn't agree with me though. And now because I'm only 34, right?
Okay.
I say only, creeping up on that 40. However, we come from a different generation. Yes. We've always played video. I've always had some kind of console. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
Or a PC or something, or my phone. Nowadays. This guy was probably about to be 50.
Oof.
He doesn't play games, and I'm it's not a bust on, because there's people I work with, there's people I play games with online that are older, 50, 60, you know what I mean?
Of course.
It happens.
There's actually a guy on who streams on Twitch, who is like 70 or 80 something, and he plays PUBG. They call him PUBG Grandpa, and he's actually pretty good at the game for one. And people love watching him play. And there's another lady who is an older woman who's like 70 or 80 who does Let's Plays on YouTube. And she's playing through Skyrim right now. And it's the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my entire life. There's this little old grandma's just walking around like, what do I want the battle axe? And it's just like, yes, Grandma, you want the battle axe.
You want that fucking battle axe.
I want bloodthirsty Grandma, please.
But this guy, though, that I was BSing with, it's not his thing. You know what I mean? He's business guy, older guy, thinks that his kids need to go outside and experience nature. Now, I'm not busting on experience nature. Like, we're going on a vacation this year. We're going to Tennessee. We're going to go see waterfalls and all that shit.
In Tennessee. We live in fucking Florida. The nature out here is the meth head masturbating in the corner.
And palmetto bugs.
Yeah, and palmetto bugs. That's nature in Florida.
Yeah.
We're not living where all the nature is down south by the Everglades. No. We're living in Central Florida.
And when you happen to get nature here, right, in our part of Florida, it's like a panther. It's going to fucking kill you.
Yeah, like a panther or an alligator in your pool. Like, those are your options. That's nature for you in Central Florida. Like, what do you mean experience nature? It's 100 degrees, and there's nothing out there. Fuck off.
Well, it's so funny
Like,
today.
I could get more behind him if we were living near like some nature trails that led somewhere or did something. But the nature trails out here, just go. And there's nothing to see. There's no end goal.
I could drive my fucking car there, asshole.
Yeah, like fuck off.
I mean, even when I was a kid, like, I say, oh, we played outside when I was a kid. Nah, motherfucker. We rode our bike to the other friend's house to go play his Sega.
Right.
Or we rode our bike to another friend's house to go and chill in his house because his parents wouldn't kick us outside to play. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shit.
Like playing outside was just finding where you're going to hide out for the day.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Now, when I was young, we'd go, but at the time, technology was different, so.
Ironically enough, playing outside is what caused me to become a script kiddie, because there was an Armenian kid who I was friends with named Esteban. And he was at like 12 years old. He was on forums downloading programs to like take down websites and like
progs, yo.
So he was teaching me about IRC clients and all that shit. And that's what playing outside got me. It got me to meet Esteban and go into his house instead and learn
to be a fucking hacker.
So I learned more about computers playing outside, and that's funny
because when I lived in South Florida, right? Yeah. Where my house was, there was an apartment complex, and a bunch of the kids I went to school with lived in the apartment complex.
Right.
And of course, when my parents were home, because when I was a kid, we had the one TV. They were like, "Go outside, you're annoying us."
Yeah.
Like, all right. Yeah, whatever. Go outside and play. My buddy had a computer. He had his own computer. Like we had a computer at my house, but he had his own computer, which was kind of crazy, for 90s, Yeah. And that's where I learned about progs and learned about like my favorite one, honestly, to this day was I would be playing Warcraft or StarCraft with my buddy, and I would be like, OMG, I'm about to lose. I'd open his CD-ROM tray.
Yep. Just send that file right on over. Oh no, your CD-ROM tray opened, and it cut the game because back then games needed the CD to work.
Yep, they did. And a funny one I just seen recently was Oregon Trail on a 3.5. Right.
Yeah.
And the meme was like something along the lines of these kids playing these games wouldn't get past the whatever river, and I was like, that's fucking awesome. But it's not wrong, that's truth. Or play a game. I wonder, I'd like to see a kid sit down in front of like a DOS prompt game. You know what I mean? Like, would you like to open door? Yes or no? Like,
and they just type in yes. I don't understand. Open door. What door? Open that door. What is that? Like, trying to figure out the commands would be the most hilarious thing.
Yep. It would be fucking funny. So now it's funny you were talking about Florida because, everything is different here. It really is. Like, our taxes are weird here. Yep. Our fucking what cities and counties can and can't do is fucking strange. We arrest people for the dumbest shit. Like, it's a fucked up place. However, sometimes somebody gets by for a while, and I have a little Floridaman story. Okay. I'm going to give this real quick.
All right.
And then, actually, I think real quick before I do it, I'll save it for after this. So there was this guy, and essentially a cannibal serial killer.
Classic. Was it the Hannibal Lecter type, the very sophisticated?
No.
Kidneys of the
absolutely not.
No.
This man has a square face. Okay. So I'm going to show you here in the camera. Let's see if we can get it to.
He's too pasty white. I got the outline of some bad hair.
Hold on. Turn the screen brightness. There you go.
There we go. Okay.
He has a very square face. Now, if you listen to this in audio only, okay, like I promise you, it's a rectangle.
I know how to describe it.
Okay.
What I want you to do for those listening to the audio only version of it, to get a visual of this guy, I want you to Google Spawn, the comic book, and there's a clown character. I want you to Google Spawn clown 90s. And that should bring up the clown character from the 90s movie Spawn. Let me just make sure. Yeah, no. It'll bring it straight up. And that's what this guy looks like. Just look at that face and maybe add like a little bit more of a line for the chin to make it stronger of a square. But it looks like that.
This is him all day. That's funny.
I know. Like as soon as I saw his face, I'm like, this is the fucking freaky clown that made me like very uncomfortable when I was a kid.
So this fucking guy, right? Let's take a guess at how many people do you think that this article says that he's munched through in the past 7 years?
With how big he is, how many calories would the human body have? I mean, it's
actually a lot. No, there's a lot of calories in the human body.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know that.
Okay, I won't. He would need to have a lot of calories in order to uptake that. Assuming he has a deep freezer and he's actually saving some of this over the course of the 7 years.
Oh, I was wrong. This isn't Florida. This is Houston.
Ha!
Look at that, Texas fucking up.
Yeah, you guys. You thought it was us. I'm going to guess 35.
31. Pretty fucking close. Pretty fucking solid.
Don't ask me how I know how to ration out a human body.
23 pizza delivery men. 6 Jehovah's Witnesses.
Okay.
2 postmen.
All right. What's up with the pizza places that they're just like, man, that's like the 5th guy who quit without saying anything in a row after going to that guy's house. That guy,
but it's over 7 years.
Right. That's still a strange, like, I don't know. I feel like that'd still be kind of noticeable.
Apparently, right?
And the postman should definitely be noticeable.
For sure. I guess a neighbor complained that he was using a chainsaw late at night.
Oh my God.
And I guess he went over there to see, and he kind of noticed him in his garage, and he looked like he was covered in blood. So he called the cops. Right. Cops arrive, and they found the guy. His name is Ivan Fedorovich Yanukovych.
Okay.
Right? Definitely American.
I mean, he could be American, like full-blown citizen, but
that's true.
That's a very Russian name.
That's an extremely Russian name, but maybe his family wanted to keep it, the links to their past, So I guess they said that he was, this is so gross, butchering a dead body in his garage and preparing what police officers described as large quantities of ground meat, mixed with an aromatic blend of spices.
Did they have to bring up the spices? They're just like,
that's what I said.
Oh my God, they were using
like,
meat.
What the fuck?
But man, that star anise with that cinnamon and the clove.
Yeah.
You know what? And you know what he did? He took Szechuan peppercorn, ground them up. It really added something. Like, we wanted some.
So apparently, this is some of the quotes from like one of his neighbors. I never suspected he was a mass murderer. Really?
I mean, if you suspected it, you probably would have called the cops sooner. So yeah, I'm guessing you didn't suspect it.
He would often invite the neighbors to his house to watch football and host large barbecues. Oh
no.
It gets worse. So apparently he lived with his mom, right? Who's 93. And they rented their house basement to a local student, right?
Well,
and
food and board included.
So yeah, right. Oh, dude. And then this is another quote. Ready? He was in charge of organizing our yearly spaghetti dinner fundraiser for the past 5 years and was a key player in the community. I am in utter disbelief. YMC.
Please tell me he was not providing the meat for that spaghetti dinner.
Oh, dude. He did the whole thing. So you got the meat sauce, right, buddy?
Oh, my God.
Uh-huh. So apparently he did show some remorse for killing the delivery man and postman who were just doing their job.
Yeah.
Right? But he said the Jehovah Witnesses really annoyed him and he wished he had taken more out.
Jesus
What
Christ.
the fuck? So they said members of our local chapter can now feel safe. These courageous souls have not ended this vile man's belly, but in God's belly.
That's not how you make
What?
it better. You don't say they didn't go into his tummy. They're in God's tummy. God's digesting them for the sin of whatever brought them inside that house.
What the fuck?
I'm so curious as to what brought them inside the house. Is it something where he was just like,
hey, come in.
Yeah, I would like to talk about it. Let's have a seat in here. And then what did he do to kill them? Did he couldn't have poisoned them because that would ruin the meat, right? So did he just bludgeon them over the head? Like, what did he do that didn't make noise and he got away with it for 7 fucking years?
Sadly enough, it doesn't say.
Okay.
Right? Because I really wanted to know that.
Yeah.
So if convicted of his crimes, right?
Right.
Faces a maximum prison sentence of, let's get some guesses out there. What do you think?
Life in prison?
Well, yeah, but
that's a maximum sentence.
Life in prison is only 60 years or something like that. So if you get life in prison and you outlast a certain amount of time,
okay,
right, you get let go eventually. Life in prison is not always the rest of your life in prison.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna guess 10 life sentences back to back.
2,675 years.
I was off by 18,000 years or 1,800 years.
Well, it's because it's so horrible.
Well, yeah, I mean? They're like, you're not getting out.
So they said that they confiscated over 700 pounds of unidentified meat from 4 different freezers on the property.
That dude's power bill must have been insane. But I was right. He was storing the meat. He was saving it.
Uh-huh.
I knew it. I'm a genius.
You are.
That's how I was able to guess how much, because I was just like, you could ration that out like this.
Well,
a couple pounds here or there, because you got to think, your average human's 150 to 200 pounds, somewhere in that range. So if you don't eat the organs and you don't eat the bones, obviously, you're left with only 100 pounds of meat, something like that.
If that, yeah.
And then you just fucking grind it up and freeze a bag it.
Well, I mean, also though, and I don't know how true it is. I remember one time reading something or seeing something that explained that eating too much human meat, there's a chemical in there that'll fuck your brain up.
Well, it's a similar concept to how cows got mad cow disease. Is we were feeding cows ground up cow in their feed. They just took dead cows and their bones and shit and ground it up to add nutrition to their feed. And when you feed an animal its own kind over and over and over again, it basically burns holes in its brains through try something or others. And you get the equivalent of mad cow disease, but it'd be mad human disease. So if you weren't considered crazy before you started eating people, after a while,
yeah, right, no shit. Well, maybe he was
so
he was so crazy already. He was immune to it. I mean, not for nothing, but this guy's eyeballs face the opposite directions and shit.
Yeah, they're kind of like a frog's eye.
Yeah, he sort of looks like a frog.
Kind of like a fucked up clown demon frog. I'm not cool with him. And I'm gonna move us on to something else because he's gross.
It's because he's gross.
And I'm kind of Dunyan rings with that guy because it reminds me too much. I don't know. All right, hold on. Quick side.
Okay.
We're not leaving yet. Do you remember the book of scary stories that had the very, very strong illustrations? Hold on. Let me find this book real quick.
Does he remind you of a character from this book?
Yes. Yes.
That's
it was a guy who would order pizzas, and inside this house was just pizza boxes everywhere. And he ate people. There was a mouth in his belly button, and he would eat people through that.
What the fuck?
So the delivery people would come in and they would eat them through the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It was a series of 3 books. and in one of them was the one I'm thinking of. And essentially, it was almost like a Jaws scenario when you read the story, because it's just these mountains of pizza boxes that the guy's hiding in. So you just see the pizza boxes moving as it's running towards you. And that's all you can see, because you can't visually see him because he's hidden by the pizza boxes. It's like this weird, like, you're stranded in the ocean of pizza boxes and the shark is there. And he just eats you with his belly button. And it disturbed the shit out of me when I was a kid. And that guy immediately made me think of that. So
Dude, you just saying that now fucking disturbs the shit out of
right?
me.
It's just like, no, you don't take the worst part of sharks, the scariest shit, make it into a human with a belly button mouth that it uses to eat you. All of that is bad. That's a bad touch. Stop. Get some help. So what I wanted to move us on to, now that I had my little side note, is so you remember how with Captain Marvel, everyone just started review bombing it even before it even came out, because everyone was like, social justice warriors are
Ew, a girl.
watch Attila Battle Angel instead, because I'm an animu. Ooh, 2D beats 3D every day. And that's just how.
Yeah. Although that movie looks pretty fucking cool too. So
no, Battle Angel is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on it. It's just there are certain members of every fandom that are shit. There just happens to be a lot of them for anime, and I can say that because I'm an anime friend. An anime friend. Yes, I'm a friend of the animes. I enjoy it.
I'm a friend of all of the animes.
Yes. I'm not a weeaboo, but I respect people who can be a weeaboo without being annoying about it. So anyways, here's the thing. Review bombing might just be a thing of the past here soon.
Why?
Because they finally did the smart thing. Rotten Tomatoes has decided it's tired of people just trying to politicize films through review.
Okay.
And so what they've decided to do is you can say whatever you want. You can give it a review. If you can prove you've seen the movie, you have to order tickets through Fandango, their partner like program for ordering tickets online.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to show proof of purchase for the ticket and to show that you've seen the movie before you can leave a review now.
Okay. I really like that.
I do too. It makes perfect sense to me, because let's be real here. How many reviews are there of people who haven't seen the movie who are just talking shit because of a trailer or because of what their friend said?
I mean, not for nothing, but we've reviewed movies where we only seen the trailer.
Right, but it's movies that are coming out, and we didn't say this is for sure what the movie is, but I mean, have we been wrong yet?
No.
Somebody email us and tell us that we've been wrong.
We haven't.
Spoiler alert, we haven't.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people who do not have our abilities of film analysis, they just suck as people and as reviewers. So the idea of forcing them to spend the money in order to have their opinion heard, I love it. Because if you've actually seen it and that's how you feel after seeing it, fucking fine. Tell me how you feel. If it's something where you haven't seen it and you're just shitting on it because you're just like, leave the Disney movies how they were. They were perfect when I was in the 90s. Why are you remaking Aladdin? Like, fucking who cares? Look at the movie.
I mean, think of it's a different animal though. I mean, you know,
it's completely different. For one, it's a mix of live action and 3D animation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
it's basically the same movie. Like Aladdin, for example, it's basically the same movie.
Yeah, it's basically the same movie. It's updated for today's audience. Like, this movie wasn't made for you. As much as you want it to be made for you, it was made for your kids.
I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen this movie yet?
I have not seen it yet.
I need to know if there's the moment where he takes a picture of him with a Kodak camera and goes, "It's a Kodiak moment," and then he turns into a bear.
Oh my god!
I just need to know if they put that in there.
I do know for a fact that they don't have "It's the monkeys." He has the monkey stance, which upset some people.
Okay.
I'm looking at you, Daniel O'Brien. Don't worry about it. So, anyways, I do plan on seeing it just because I want to see how it is. And I'm really curious as to how Will Smith plays Genie. Like, a lot of people were like, "Oh, there's some big shoes to fill." They are. That role was made specifically for Robin Williams. Like, when it was
they did modify it. They did modify it a lot,
right? And I'm sure they modified it for Will Smith and his delivery and his style, which
Yeah,
I
but Will Smith is a good actor in my opinion, and I think that
at the
he
very least he's a good
knew
comedy actor.
he
Like,
knew that he had to do it a certain way,
yes.
and he does. If you listen to at least the what are they called, trailers or promos or
Yeah.
whatever, he does it. Other than he sounds like Will Smith, his delivery sounds pretty fucking close. Like
Okay.
I'm gonna fantasize you, like it's perfect, you know. But it's kind of like, you know, with Lion King being redone. What else? The princess movie. See, they okay. How many times have they fucking redone Cinderella?
Jesus Christ. A Cinderella Story. They did the one with what's her name?
Well, I remember one year there was like
Lizzie
fucking 4
McGuire.
of them back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
Right?
And it was like 2 of them were like, oh, look, it's a modern take. And it's like, yeah, but we just had that like 3 months ago. What the fuck is wrong with you? But one of them had Lizzie McGuire. What was her real name?
I don't remember.
Fuck.
I don't remember. You should look it up. But you know, those movies did not catch flack like this is.
I think it's because Cinderella's the story of Cinderella is more of a generic style of story where you can kind of just throw that in anywhere, whereas Aladdin has a very specific premise and a very specific time frame. You can't modernize Aladdin. You can't like change where it's taking place. Like, it's such a specific story that
Hilary Duff.
Thank you. Jesus, that was going to drive me fucking insane.
That was my wife. And then also,
thank you.
Jordan's uncle's in the chat too.
Dear Ray!
What's up, Ray?
So yes. So like, I feel like that's why that gets a pass, because you can put that anywhere. So even if you're remaking it, you're not necessarily shot for shot remaking it. So people aren't like, why are you doing this? It's
here's it's either that or here's my opinion. I think it's because how old it is.
You know what? Maybe because
that's what I think.
Because you want to know what else didn't catch any flack? Snow White.
No, yeah, it didn't. It didn't at all.
No one talked shit about that. No one cared about Snow White being remade, even with it having Twilight Girl, whose name escapes me. Is it Kirsten something?
I think so.
Yeah.
The girl who didn't know she wanted to bang the dog or the bat.
Vampire, or who do I sleep with? What form of zoophilia do I want to get into? No, but what's crazy is like, she was in that film, and so was Thor, and nobody gave that movie any flack. And you know what else came out that didn't catch any flack? That was a remake?
Jungle Book.
Well, I mean, yes, that wasn't what I was thinking of, but Jungle Book did also get a remake. It got 2. It got 2 remakes.
And people praised that fucking movie.
Huh. And then, let me think here. What was it I was going to say? I keep thinking of Cinderella. Alice in Wonderland. That had...
Dude, Alice in Wonderland has had like 6 remakes.
Right. And they had sequels to those remakes, but you know what? They were really good. Visually, if anything.
So there was a TV series, a mini series.
Yes, Through the Looking Glass.
Yeah, dude, that was amazing.
Yeah, I remember seeing that way back when.
So it's weird to me that it happens with some movies and not others.
I think again, I think it has to do with. I think you're right. It has to do with the age.
I think it's the age.
I think those are the movies that came out in the 90s.
I think that if it came out earlier. Right, like, well, I mean, fuck, dude. Cinderella is older than we are. It's like a Sleeping Beauty would make it, right? But redoing
Beauty and the Beast had like 3 remakes. What the fuck?
Beauty and the Dude, hold on.
It had a TV series too.
When the live action Beauty and the Beast movie was done, right? That was with what's her face, you know?
Hermione Granger.
Yep, Hermione. I don't know her actual name though.
I can't remember her actual.
Obviously she fucked up a spell and ended up in a book. I mean, that's how that happened.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah. So
it's science.
It's just pure science.
Yeah.
Can I say because science? No, I can't say that. Just kidding. But that movie got awesome reviews. right? It spawned a bunch of fucking songs people listen to. Is annoying.
Yeah.
And a bunch of little girls fucking loved that shit. So, well, actually, maybe we just figured something out. Hear me out. Maybe it's the movies that are not gender specific that catch more flack than the ones that are not.
Huh? Okay. Wait.
Because they target, let's be honest, Cinderella, right? For example, targets female audience, young female audience.
Right.
Right? Beauty and the Beast targets young female artists, young female
audience,
girl,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Audience.
Young female girl.
Young female girl is smart. Right? But
yeah, but Jungle Book doesn't.
Jungle Book, well, yeah, but people just like Baloo. I mean, that's how
it's all about the bear.
Yeah, as soon as they threw in fucking bare necessities, everyone was like, I'm in.
Sign me the fuck up.
Sign me the fuck. And honestly, you can put Baloo Tailspin. Woo, right? You
Lion
can
King's catching flack.
Yeah, but Lion King, hold on. The reason they're catching it so hard, right? That sounds funny to say. But the reason they're catching it so hard is because they're like, it's gonna be live action, it's gonna be live action, it's gonna be live action.
And it's all 3D.
And it's all fucking 3D computer generated.
Which is not what live action means.
It's not. We
have live action. We also already have live action Lion King. It's called the fucking Broadway play. That is the live action edition of Lion King. Or if you really want to get, you want to know what the live action version of Lion King is? It's fucking Hamlet. It's fucking Hamlet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, but
you just call it 3D.
Hold on.
You don't say live action.
I might know, and you might know, and probably 1 out of every 7 of our listeners know what Hamlet even is, or the story, or how that correlates. A lot of people have no idea. You know, they would be like, "Really?
Hamlet's lit." Like, if you haven't read Hamlet, there were some of the sickest burns in a fucking play in that book. The only one that has a sicker roast session in it is Much Ado About Nothing. That's another play that has some very, very, like, if you want to learn how to roast your friends, Much Ado About Nothing. Read or watch that if possible. But Hamlet has some good ones in it. It has some zingers. And I don't know. I fucking love Hamlet. That's one of my favorite plays.
Hold on, listen.
Good, Bumpa? What the fuck was that?
Turtle Man.
Like
it's Turtle Man.
Turtle Man?
Yeah, he's the guy. He goes live action. If you guys don't know what fucking Turtle Man is, you need to look that shit up. It's amazing. Yeah, well, no, there's gonna be a Beauty, and there's gonna be a Snow White coming. There's gonna be a every one of them is gonna be redone, and we'll just sit back and see. I think that when it involves the whole community, everyone complains. When it involves just a certain cut of the community, I don't
know. I can see where you're coming from with that. I personally think it's more of a timing. If the movie was older than, if it was released from the 80s below, right? Then it gets a pass. The moment you hit 1990 and above and it's a Disney film and you're remaking it, that's when people give shit.
Okay, so then it's our generation. That's the problem.
I 100% think that people think these movies are being made for them, and they're like, but there's nothing changing, or why were you doing this? It was perfect the way it was. Not realizing that it's not for you. You can feel like it's for you because it came out when you were a kid, the original version. But that remake is for your kids.
Yep.
They're just making an updated version that's more palatable to your kids because the older animation styles and the older styles of those films, the audio quality, like all of that.
Well, the humor is dated.
Yeah, the humor is dated. Like a lot of the references that Robin Williams made as Genie would not make sense to a kid nowadays because half of those comedians are dead, as is Robin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So like he quoted Roger Dangerfield. He did the whole Jack Nicholson. Here's the
Yeah.
deal. Like all those different like things
Don't exist now.
don't exist in the public eye for us. So
Well, my 7-year-old or my 15-year-old would have no idea.
yeah, they would
What's
just be like,
going on?
I don't get the joke.
See, but
He's
what's
doing a
funny
funny
is,
voice.
though, as part of said generation, I see, and maybe I'm just not an idiot. I don't know. But I
Yeah.
see that this is obviously made for my kids. And this isn't
Right.
a remake for me. You know, now, there is some nostalgia there that I'm like, oh,
Yes.
man, I hope they don't ruin it.
Right. And I think that part right there is what people are focusing on rather than realizing they're not the target audience. And you can't ruin something that's being remade into something else.
Uh-huh.
Even if it's the same basic premise, the jokes are going to change. The setup's going to change. The delivery's going to change. It's going to be faster cut.
Well,
There's
but
going to be
in
certain
some
parts they're going to focus
cases,
on.
like A Beauty and the Beast is a good example. There's some stuff in that movie that is fucking dead nuts scene for scene.
Oh yeah, I'm
So-
sure.
And they do that, and I'm sure in Aladdin it's going to be that way, and I'm sure in Lion King we're gonna get to see Scar fucking drop Mufasa to his death, right?
There's going to be a lot of tears.
You know,
But my whole thing is, when it comes to that, I think that the films that people are going to have the most trouble with are the films that had a big emphasis on humor throughout.
mm-hmm.
In Beauty and the Beast, that is not what you would consider a comedy. That is borderline a horror film if you really look at it, full of Stockholm syndrome and like fucked up shit, but not a comedy. There are some comedic moments, but it's more of a we have to throw in some form of comedy. It's a cartoon, goddammit. Type things rather than emphasis.
Coconuts.
Right. The Lion King has comedic moments.
Uh-huh.
Isn't the focus of the film. The focus of the film is growing up with tragedy. There's a lot of fucked up shit that happens in The Lion King.
Oh, God,
you thinking you're the cause of your own dad's death, being run out of your home, and then you live off bugs for a while and become a hippie. Like, that kind of shit. I feel like those translate better into remakes because they don't have to change the humor because the humor wasn't a really big part of it. So a lot of it can be just the same background humor that's more...
And it could be this. Actually, it could be dead on the same jokes because
a lot of them are much more
are the joke. You know
exactly. It's more joke characters,
mm-hmm.
and there are objects that are it's much more reactionary humor to where something happens and someone makes a quip, and that will never be dated. Whereas all these other jokes, like for Aladdin, for instance, there's a heavy. You had Robin fucking Williams. There's a heavy emphasis on comedy throughout that movie. A lot of those jokes were written specifically for the time and period, and I feel like because that's changing, it's going to piss a lot of people off. So I feel like you can get away with it as long as there's not a lot of comedy, because comedy will always be topical to some degree. When you have topical things outside of the decade they're in, it ruins the joke. So you have to change it.
Bottom line, all you little whiny bitches, listen up.
Fuck them skinny bitches in the club.
Yeah, fuck them skinny bitches in the club. What the fuck?
All right.
No, it's not meant for you.
That's all I'm trying to say.
It's not fucking meant for you. It's meant for your fucking kids.
Mhm.
I'm happy now that they're putting a way to filter people who can leave reviews because I would hate to read a review about how horrible, let's say, Lion King is, for example, or Aladdin is, for example. And it's nothing but people who haven't seen the movie who are making a direct comparison because Will Smith is the genie and they didn't find some way to use like AI Robin Williams.
If they had done an AI Robin Williams, I would have been more mad than replacing him. Like, to be perfectly honest, that would have disgusted me. No way.
Well, I seen one thing where they were like, well, why don't they just use all his voiceover, for the genie? And
why would you?
How the fuck are you going to do that? That means every other bit of dialogue in that movie has to be identically the same, which means that all you're doing is literally translating this from a pure cartoon to a mixture of live action and 3D animation.
Yeah, which already is just like, why bother? But also, if you do that, you're keeping in those dated references that no one's going to understand for those kids who this movie is now made for.
Yep. But
like,
again, people that are saying that don't fucking realize that it's not made for them.
They don't know who Jack Nicholson is. They don't know any of those references. Look at me, I'm losing to a rug. No one's going to understand what that means. Absolutely no one.
Fucking funny, though.
It is. It's great because we get the joke. Fucking your kids are going to be there like, all right, he's listening to a rug and he said a funny voice. Like, haha, I guess. But it's not going to hit the same spot.
Nope. Now, my kids have seen Aladdin. They like it. You know,
Right.
Because it'll always be a good movie.
Yeah, no, that movie's great.
Actually, hold on. Let's see if you can help me with this. So today we were riding in the car and that Ariana Grande song came on. Because when my kids are in the car, I have zero control over the radio. Because usually I'll either play stuff on Play Music or I'll just listen to talk radio. But so there's this Ariana Grande song where essentially she's just bragging about how rich she is.
7 Rings, yeah.
And all she does the whole time is brag about how rich she is. And first of all, I never would have even thought weird talking girl from whatever TV show that was would be, Mega Millionaire.
Not iCarly. Sam and something.
Well, there was one before that. It was Sam and Cat, but it was before that. That was a spin-off. They were both hold on.
Oh, they were both spin-offs.
Yeah, she had her own show. She came. So the one mean blonde girl,
Sam.
Yep. Previous to leaking all her nudes on the internet, she was on iCarly. The other girl, Ariana Grande, right? Previous to leaking all her nudes on the internet, was on
some other show.
Victoria Justice.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Right? So now but I never thought. So anyway, so what we were talking about, me and my kids, I have girls.
Yeah.
Is which princess, and before we move on to the next thing, which princess would be want to tell everybody how rich she is and how she just bought her new hair. I think it would be, and my oldest daughter agrees with me. I think Ariel, right?
Okay.
Her song would be something along the lines of, look at this fork. Yeah, just found it. Right.
Yeah. Right.
But for my youngest, she thinks Cinderella because she lives in a castle. But I mean, she comes from humble beginnings.
Yeah, and she stayed humble throughout.
Yeah, but she doesn't. She doesn't really get it.
Right. Right.
So, opinion time. Who do you think?
See, Ariel is a very good answer because it just is what it is. However, if I wanted to take it in a different direction, rather than it being someone who's just like, look how rich I am, and like somewhat rags to riches, it's look how rich I am, but they don't realize they're saying, look how rich I am. I'm going to go with Jasmine because she's so far from what regular society is. She doesn't even understand the concept of stealing. She saw a kid was hungry for an apple, handed him an apple, and didn't realize she had to pay for the apple. So she's so far removed from what regular life is. If she ever made a song, even if it wasn't supposed to be "Look at me, I'm so rich," it's gonna come off "Look at me, I'm so rich" because she'll just be like, "Waking up with my tiger in my fabulous bed. I put my gold on my head." Like it'll just be her just describing her day. Like this is what everyone does.
Yeah,
and not realize.
I like that answer.
That's my theory. As I agree though, if it's purely just like bragging, like "Fuck you, I'm rich now. Look at my shit." Ariel 1,000,000% because she already had that song.
Yes.
In her movie. Like she flat out was just like, I got thingamabobs, I've got 20. Yeah. I want more. Like she already did it. There's no competition. It's already in there. She got the rough draft. And now that she's moved up and she has a kingdom of her own.
That rough draft.
For real. Now she's gonna know what those things are. And she's just like, look at all these gems. Fuck you, I'm rich.
That's funny.
I'm so rich I eat my friends because she is the queen now to a fishing community. Having come from fish, even at her wedding, they tried to serve up one of her friends a lobster.
Yeah.
And she's not going to stop them from fishing because that would end her kingdom's life because they're the lifeblood of their coastal city back in the day.
So did we just work our way all the way back to cannibalism? Is that what just happened?
I mean, if we consider he'll still, well, I mean,
okay, so hold on.
What did they eat to begin with?
I was about to ask. Okay, so here's the problem with pretty much all Disney movies, right? Especially ones like Ariel or like Little Mermaid, for example.
Yeah,
is they give the animals personality. And
Yep.
in this specific movie, they all have voices and are part of the community. And,
And then
like,
they show an entire city that lives off that animal to survive
yes.
for
Now,
trade and food.
so is it like upper class lobsters don't get eaten?
Right? Is it like
Class?
is it a Hunger Game lobby where they're just like, only the fit will live, we will eat the rest? Like,
Yeah.
do they just draw a lottery? Is the sea now one giant fish tank in a grocery store full of lobsters with like the little bands on their claws, where you just point at the sea and you're like, that one, and then Ariel's like, it's your time, come forth. But I have a wife, kids. Yes, but my dad's the king of the sea. You're gonna die for the cause. Like, how does that work?
Okay, so for instance, I literally just Googled what does Little Mermaid eat.
Yeah.
For instance, most kids love dogs and cats, which are both carnivores. And one of the most loved marine mammals, the dolphin, primarily eats fish. My guess is that Ariel, where an actual mermaid, she would be a mermaid, just like a human, essentially.
Right.
That means she would eat both animals and plants, which would make perfect sense. So that means that there must be
a genocide of fish where they're just like, fuck those fish in particular, we're gonna eat those.
Uh-huh.
And all the other fish are just like, we're cool with that, we're not that fish. So basically they're underwater Nazis that just cleansed of a specific type of fish that they eat.
Yes.
And everyone's cool with it because it's not them.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they get high on puffer fish. Like,
I think about that too, because dolphins do.
Yeah.
Dolphins intentionally will get themselves injected with the toxin because it does make them high. So, like, what are some underwater drugs that they could?
They're down there smoking that seaweed, yo.
Yeah, like blazing up with no fire, but they're making it. Their edibles must. Their edibles must be crazy.
In the cartoon world, though, I mean, SpongeBob makes a campfire.
That's true, and he sings the campfire song.
He sings the campfire fire song.
Yes.
So, it is, I guess, possible. I don't know. But it was a weird thing to think about. My kids give me those weird thought experiments all the time, though.
I do like that.
This was just because it was my wife in the car who pointed out, like, I can't believe she's essentially just singing about how fucking rich she is and just bragging
not
about
only that, but she's doing it to a beat that's not even her own. Like, she didn't make that song. That was a classic song from The Sound of Music.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually, there's a version of that song. I don't know if I ever sent that to you. There's a version of that song that was made specifically in the style of The Sound of Music, as if it was sung by the main female lead.
Really?
Yeah, I sent it to you in the chat for the video. You'll have to give that a listen later because it is probably one of my favorite things, and it makes the song way better for me.
The funniest thing about that is that I like Ariana Grande. I did anyway.
I don't mind her music.
As a okay-ish role model for my kids. Okay. But hopefully this was just she didn't write the song, obviously. She didn't write the music. Right. So more than likely this was just somebody like, hey, you need to sing this hip-hoppy pop song, to make money, hopefully. Yeah. And that's
perfect, because then you'll have more material because of all that money you just made for the next song we're going to have you sing about all that money you made singing about money.
Yes. Right. Illuminati. You've seen it here. There's a triangle. Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's just a Dorito.
You see this? It's not.
This isn't an Illuminati message.
But yeah.
Wake up, sheeple.
Wake up, sheeple.
What? No one said that. Shut up.
Nah. Oh man. So there's two other things I kind of want to poke real quick before we kind of end, because we're gone a little bit longer than I thought we were going to.
Yeah, well, we started talking about Disney, and that always gets me riled up. So.
It does.
That's like free game. If you want free content, just bring up something in the Disney universe and watch me implode. Like, that's just how that goes.
You know what? Speaking of Disney real quick, I think that Disney the theme park needs to have like lanes for people to walk in with like stop lights that stop you while other people can walk, and then like that's how I think it should work. Anyway,
Okay.
so two things. First of all,
Against that.
everybody should notice I now have 4 eyes and not 2.
Yes, even though they are kind of invisible like frames, you can see the lines on the side, if anything.
Yeah, well, they are invisible frame. They are actually Oakley's because my insurance paid for them.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, aren't mine? No, these are Ray-Ban. Never mind.
Or Ray-Ban, still just as awesome.
Yeah.
But I added all of the things, right? Is that never is okay? So I haven't had glasses since I was like 15, right?
Mhm.
I kind of forgot I was supposed to wear glasses, and then my left eye's been fuzzy, and I drive around as my job. So I was like, well, turns out I only need glasses for my left eye. I wanted to get a monocle.
I mean, fair.
All right. My wife wasn't okay with me getting a monocle. So I was going to get a top hat. It was going to be awesome. Right. Oh, Andrew's in their chat too. He said, holy crap, you have glasses now. Yes, I do, Andrew. I am
Andrew, you noticed. I mean, I've been wearing them for a while. But that's okay. Thank you for noticing my glasses.
I had all of the stuff added to my glasses though. So like they turn into sunglasses outside, right? Yeah. They're scratch resistant, and there's not supposed to be glare or reflection, although I mean you can see reflection on this side.
When they say no glare or reflection, they're saying that you get affected by it. It'll be on your glasses, but when you're looking at like a street light or something at night, you're not going to get those lines as bad.
Well, that was one of the other things is why I got the anti-reflective stuff, is because that's one of the I hated transition glasses, Andrew said. So I'm still getting used to them, Andrew. Inside it's not so bad. When you walk outside, they do turn into sunglasses pretty quick. In my car, they're barely sunglasses. As soon as I'm out, like in the blinding sun, they're dark as fuck.
Yeah.
Problem is it takes a solid 3 minutes
once you get inside
for them to go all the way clear again.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, if you scratch them when they turn into sunglasses outside,
you can see the scratches.
You could see them nasty scratches. And I mean, hopefully that's, I
can say with confidence, because I had transition lenses back in the day. It's not as bad as they make it sound.
Well, I mean, I try to only use the little cloth to wipe them. I try not to use my shirt, if I think about it, right? That kind of shit. You know?
Definitely. These guys right here are going to save your life. I always have a fiberglass cloth. Hey, Doc, my lenses don't work the way they should. I meant to say microfiber. Microfiber cloth. I have one for my VR headset, the lenses in that, and one for my glasses, and I use both of them. I have them on hand at all times. One's in my pocket or on my desk at all times. So definitely take care of them, and they'll take care of you for sure.
Yeah, okay. So, Andrew, a lot of people do that. Get the regular glasses and the sunglasses. One of the guys I work with, actually, that's what he did as well. Honestly, man, I break things. We all know that, right?
Broke my heart.
If I have two pairs of glasses, it just means that I'm gonna break.
One's gonna die
right away, and the ones that are
gonna be the regular ones.
Yeah, they're gonna be clear ones.
So you're just gonna have the sunglasses at all times.
All the fucking time. Yes. Yeah. Oh my god, that's exactly what would fucking happen.
Yep.
So I got all the stuff on them. They're still weird to wear, and and I'm still kind of getting used to it. But here's one of my fucking problems is like they're smudge magnets. Even if you don't like ever touch them throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like, how do you keep them clean? Really? That's it.
You just make do, and you're supposed to use a spray. This is where I don't listen to them. I just get that moisture and then microfiber it up, right? Get it nice and clean. You get a good technique to where you don't even notice you're doing it because you get used to it, and then you put it back on and you're like, wow, I can see. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. So that happened. Well, what's funny is my daughter has astigmatism, right?
Oh, okay.
No, it's triple lens flare up with the glasses on your bald head. Fuck you. Uh,
Get wrecked.
Get wrecked, son. No, so we brought my daughter to the eye doctor, and I was there, so I was like, "Ah, fuck it, it's a free exam, I'll do it." And I knew I was a bit fuzzy, but she told me this is a quote weak prescription. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, my other daughter and my wife looked through them, and they were like, "I really can't tell a difference unless you hold them out, and you can see it like does that magnety effect or magnification effect on one side."
Yeah.
But to me, now that I've been fucking wearing them, when I take these off, it's like I have a film over this eye.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
No, 100%. Mine's the same way. Mine's a weak prescription. And if I didn't have it, it's like if I go without it for a long time, I start to get used to like bad vision. And then when I put them on, I'm like, well, everything's so clear.
Yeah, right. What's funny is I was dizzy-ish the first day I put them on. Like, my eye still feels weird. Why not just get a contact with a bad eye, Andrew says, because I do not think that I have the balls to do it every day or the rememberingness of my brain memory, that thing, to remember to get refill ones, or I'll get fucking inebriated and go to sleep with it and be like blind the next day. Like, I'm not the guy for contacts.
There's a lot of shit with contacts. Not only that, but when you have a weaker prescription, contacts, the eye doctor will actually usually not recommend them because they're like, you're not going to get as clear a vision as you would with glasses because the contacts literally just can't cater to your particular style of vision.
See, that's
because that was my thing is my doctor was just like, I mean, yeah, you can get the contacts, but like you're not going to be able to see as well as you can with glasses because they can't make the contacts for this weak prescription. They can go up to this point, and then if they do, like you can see, but it's not as good as what you would.
Well, it's weird though because I can feel like sometimes, like I can feel that my eye is open wider than usual, and I can feel like, and it still feels weird to my eye though. And I asked the doctor too. I was like, she's like, it's going to take a while for your eye to get used to not having to strain that way.
Yeah, because your eye has been like overworking for so long that it's just like it's trying hard when it doesn't have to. So it's like trying to relax, but it can't. Yeah, that's what you're feeling. It's the worst.
Yeah, I fucking hate it.
Like when you get new prescriptions for your glasses too, if it ever changes, the first couple of days you're just like, oh my god, you feel like you're on the moon when you're walking, where you'll like step forward and you're like, my feet should not touch already. What the fuck is going on? Because everything's magnified different, so distance and like all that shit gets fucked up. Like I felt sick after my last glasses change. I got nauseous.
Well, so Andrew tells me I should be a man and leave it in for days at a time. No, because I don't want to get like the eyeball version of when a girl leaves a tampon in too long. I don't want that.
I'm pretty sure that you can't get shock syndrome from a contact.
Never know, bro.
You never know. You're right.
First of all, if it can happen, it's gonna happen to me because I'll get like the cool plastic always wet ones, and like and they'll be like, make sure you change this every day, and I'll be like, all right, fine. And next day, have no eye left. Okay. So anyway, it's fucking weird. I'm trying to get used to that. The other thing that I wanted to kind of touch on real quick. Okay, done. Essentially, can't talk about this much. However, always wet. Who let Andrew in our chat?
Instead of wet, use more neutral words like moist.
Moist. Funny enough, I was on the phone the other day, real side story, with my boss, and we're joking around, and I said the word moist, and he was like, oh, I hate that word. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I do everything I can to avoid saying moist. And I was like, oh no, he said to avoid saying that word. And I was like, really? And he was
what
like,
word?
Yeah.
Moist?
Yeah, well, then so I started asking him a barrage of questions, such as, example is like, so what do you call a moist towelette? You know, and he was like, a slightly damp finger towel.
I was gonna go with wet wipe, but I find that to be the superior answer. I'm adopting that slightly damp finger towel for life.
And I was like, I mean, okay. And he came back with it so fucking quick, right? I know that's real.
That's what he does. He's just like, yeah, give me that slightly damp finger towel.
Oh shit!
Waiter's like, do you mean a moist towelette?
Don't
He's
say
just
that.
He's just like, all right, there goes your tip. Give me my fucking finger towel. Like,
make sure it's slightly wet, motherfucker.
Slightly wet. No other descriptives.
You know, it's like, or I guess you can call it a damp towelette.
Oh yeah, you could. You
know,
I find that there are a few words that are like that, and wet's actually kind of one of them. But you have to say it a specific way. Where if you pronounce any word with like a heavy ending, like wet, where you really end it on the moist,
wet,
tight, like Andrew, all those words suddenly get really gross and weird when you say it like that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, just saying tight makes people around you giggle.
Well, and that's the thing, though, is it's just like that rap show was tight. When you say it like that, you're just like, oh, there's something like gross and sexual about what you just did, and that doesn't make sense in the context of what you were saying, but I'm uncomfortable.
Or on board. It really sort of depends.
I mean, some people get on board, don't get me wrong, but for a lot of people hearing it, they're just like,
yeah,
moist.
So last week, which kind of fucked up recording the couple of days after that, which we did miss and whatnot. But so last week, my wife got in a little bit of a car accident.
God.
Her and the kids were in the car. Everybody's fine, right? I can't really talk too much about what happened. As soon as I get the okay on it, though, I will open up about it and we'll talk about it because it's some fucked up shit, right?
Hell yeah.
Thankfully, I would like to say everybody's okay, but that's not really the case. Unfortunately, back injuries are a thing. And the kids bounced back pretty quick, but it did happen and it does suck a lot. Now, but this is kind of where we are now. My car was brand fucking new. It was like 6 months old, and now I have to buy another one. I'm real pissed off about it. I don't know if anybody followed the adventures of me buying a car last time.
It was awful.
It was awful. I treated people at the dealership like shit until they gave me what I wanted. And it took like week and a half, 2 weeks for them to finally be like, all right, we'll give you what you want. Yeah. I don't fucking want to go through it again.
Hell no.
So I'm thinking, because I have a work car, I'm going to run this past you, see what you think.
Huh?
I remember the haggling. Yes, Andrew, I was not nice to that guy. Listen, I got what the fuck I wanted. I'm thinking we only need one car payment, buying a Tesla. What do you think?
A Tesla?
Just saying, I want one.
Isn't that like a mortgage payment? Like,
I mean,
what you mean a Tesla?
So look,
you making that Tesla money?
Listen,
is everyone now? My whole life has been upside down. Everyone else is secret rich now, and I'm just a broke bitch. What the fuck?
Turned upside down. No,
y'all just like we live in 7 rings. And I'm like, damn, I can't even do like 7 ringtones. That's too much for my monthly budget. Like, need y'all to relax with all this shit.
No, we had 2 car payments. So, her car was new, so it was a big car payment. Right. So I could be in Tesla range with not too much more than I pay in 2 car payments now.
Yeah, you put it like that, and it almost sounds reasonable, but it's not. That's still all for 1 car payment, a huge fucking amount because you want a Tesla.
Yeah,
let's be real. This is a toy.
Yeah,
like it's not going to pay itself off. It's going to soften the blows each month.
So now Andrew brought up in the chat, it's like $43,900 for the Model 3. I don't want a Model 3, man.
Yeah, no, I wasn't even going to bother bringing that up because I already know what Patrick's thinking of. Yeah. Patrick wants to get the one that's already in space. Patrick's like, land that bitch back down here.
No, but here, you save a ton of money on gas because you don't have to get any. Right. The way that the charger base works at your house does not increase your electric bill that much because of Tesla magic. Right. You get tax breaks from the government, right? And it's a Tesla, so you obviously have a big giant dick. I mean,
okay. So here's my whole thing. One,
now your wife would have a big giant dick. Congratulations.
Two, hold on, because I wouldn't get to drive it, right?
Yeah, no, I know you wouldn't get to drive
Okay.
it. That's why I was saying specifically that. Two,
quiet burnouts. All you hear is squealing, no engine.
Everyone's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Is there a dying cow? What is happening?
I mean, it is Florida. That's possible.
Yeah.
So two, the amount you're saving on all those other things does not equate the amount you're increasing your car payments by.
There's a calculator on Tesla's as how much it would cost to charge. Hey, so since Andrew's so chatty in the chat box today,
okay.
Andrew, find out for me how much a Model S is, please.
And then calculate how much.
Use
that calculator.
Okay, but he is typing in there now because he's all on board for the Model 3. He wants to buy one. Which they're 44,000, right? It's not too bad.
It's
like
not too terrible.
$500-$600 car payment. A friend of mine that I work with, actually, he moved on to a different job now, but fully loaded, please. A friend of mine that I work with, he has a BMW 8 Series or. Fuck me. It's $85,000 car. He has like a $900 car payment.
Yeah.
Right? But he's single, no family, right? Makes
Which
more
does
than
not describe you.
No, it doesn't. But
none of that describes you. Yeah, there's no counter to that, is there? He's single. He doesn't have a family.
My car payment wouldn't be that much.
Listen,
my car payment wouldn't be that much. And
why wouldn't it?
Listen, my wife, gets a raise. I get a raise, and it's only a little bit more than what we pay with our combined car payments now.
Mm-hmm. It's still more.
So
right. It's still more for one car.
So you think it's a bad idea?
I'm not against the idea per se. What I'm against is trying to package it like a salesman, trying to sell me this idea. If you want the fucking Tesla, get the fucking Tesla. I'll support you. Don't try and act like it's some sort of economic decision to save you money in the long run, because it's not. I
mean, I'll save the money on gas.
Right. How much are you going to be saving in comparison to how much you're going to be paying? Because I don't see you paying $200-$300 in gas.
It's $1,500 more to not have black. I'll take black because I like that one. I'm just kidding, guys. I can't have a Model S. Come on, you know that.
I know you can't. That's why I'm sitting here like, bitch, please.
I would love it though. I really would.
Not only that, but you'd have to be on. I'm pretty sure those are on like back order.
Oh God, yeah.
Like hardcore. So
102,000. Oh Jesus, I can't own one.
Yeah, no, you can't own one. Don't ever try and fucking sell me on that shit again.
Hey, that Model 3 is looking good.
Yeah. What, that 44,000? It's still got the Tesla logo on it, right? So now, people don't know the difference. Give me that Model 3. Come on.
There's this guy on YouTube, Mark, M-A-H-K, Mac. His name's Mac.
Oh, hi, Mac.
And he does oh, hi, Mark. No, he does these if real life Model E you can get. There's a Model E? Oh, he probably meant to hit S. Mark, he does these if real life commercials where real people.
Honest. Yeah.
And it's like the Chevy commercials where they bring the people out or whatever.
Yeah.
It fucking makes me laugh so hard. And then they'll be like, this car starts at this much money, right? And then, but the car they're showing at the bottom of the screen says as equipped, it's like $10,000 more.
Yeah.
Equipped as shown or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah.
You guys should look him up. It's hilarious. My favorite one is the one where you guys ever see that commercial and it's like an anti-drug commercial, and it's like the kid is smoking weed or whatever. So he's at the dinner table, and he's a sloth.
Yes.
And he's moving so like super slow.
They have a series of those. It's in Australia.
and he like picks up the wrong thing, like hands it to him, but Mark is playing the role of the dad in that, and he's like, and at first he's like mad at him about being on drugs, and he realizes he's like weed, and he's like, what? Hold the fuck on. You mean to fucking tell me that you got fucking weed that makes you like that? You're a fucking slut. And he's like yelling at him. He's like, trim your fucking nails. If you got those fucking choppers, come slice my steak. You're like, it's fucking hilarious. Oh my God, it's so good. I just like
the idea of him being like, you got some weed that does that? And you're not sharing?
No, where's and then yeah, he does Mark Wahlberg parodies too. Yes. And then you go to the next commercial where it's the girl and it's like she's deflated on the couch.
On the couch, yeah.
Right? And he's like, oh my God, what did you do? What did you do? And he's like, wait, your weed did this to you? And the next scene is him on the couch all flat and shit. Like, this is so great. And he's like yelling to his wife, like, I'm going to need something. And he's like, somebody pour me into a bucket. I need food or whatever. Like, it's fucking amazing.
We're going to McDonald's. 69-cent hamburgers from yesterday. We got to buy up.
Oh, shit. And honestly, though, it's kind of like, in reality, there's some people that'll smoke some weed and then they ruin their life, right? I guess.
I don't know about that one. Like, there's some people who smoke some weed and then they get into the drug culture and ruin their life. It's not necessarily the weed itself is not going to change you. Let's be real. There might be some minor changes because you realized that Dare lied to you when you were a kid because you don't suddenly feel like sticking cocaine in your asshole or something. Which they all thought you would do immediately after smoking weed. But
yeah, actually, hold on. Dare told me that if I ever smoke marijuana, right, I'm immediately going to go and buy heroin.
Exactly. They're just like, it's a gateway drug. You're on the way to harder stuff. Eventually, the weed's not going to do it for you. That's not true. The weed's always going to do it for you. You're like, damn, I'm still happy.
In my guesstimate, I'm going to go ahead and assume that weed would just continue to work. So
there's a reason why it's so popular. It works. Like, what do you mean it's not going to be good enough? If it's not good enough, you just buy high grade. That means you've graduated from regs. Congratulations.
Have you ever seen the commercial where it's they're going through the drive-thru and they like run the kid over or whatever, and it's like, don't smoke and drive or whatever?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So the reason that's impossible is because I've ridden in a car with a friend stoned out of his brains.
They are the safest drivers because they're just like driving slow. Like,
we're doing 10 miles under the speed limit. Everyone's seatbelt is on because everyone's a cop to him, right?
Yes.
It's fucking like, hands 10 and 2. And he's like, click, 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 click. I'm like, bro, why do you have your blinker on? He's like, oh, we're making a right
in 3 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been there. I know.
Oh, shit.
I've been there in the passenger side of my best friend's ride, not being the high guy. Kappa Kappa. Job employers.
Yeah.
But no, for real, like, they're the safest drivers because they're just like, I don't want to fucking die and I don't want to go to jail. I just want to get a cheeseburger. Let's all chill. We're not even moving yet. Just chill. All right. I just need a minute. Like,
we're going too fast. Puts car back in park. Never moved.
Yeah, it's just like, we just need to relax. You know what? I'm pretty sure I've got some chips under that seat back there. Can you look? Like, we'll make do. We're setting up camp.
Jesus. So guys, I think we're going to wrap up the live stream and the show today.
A lot longer than we were planning.
Yeah, hold on. It was a lot longer than we planned. We talked about way more than I thought we had to, so go us. So,
yeah, we did good. Yeah. We had an awkward beginning, but we fell into our flow and then we couldn't shut up. So
yes. Well, only awkward beginning because
because we didn't talk. We just started. You were just like, "Hey, everybody!" I'm like, "Oh, we're live."
Yeah, well, because I was sitting there bopping to that song.
Yeah,
bopping to the song. I'm like, you know what? We're fucking starting this bitch, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, we're starting, okay, and I was just like mentally preparing. All right, we're gonna get ready. So he's gonna tell me what we're gonna. Hi, welcome to. I'm like, oh, that's what he meant. He meant he hit start.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but Andrew said, no, I just got here. I demand you to stay. All right, I'll tell you what, Andrew. I'll do one more story.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, I have great news, Andrew. For everything you've missed,
we have the YouTube video available right after the show ends. It compiles, finishes up, and you can go back in the past and watch from way back in the beginning. See us be all awkward for a sec, and then get into it.
Hold
And
on,
as usual, someone said something about Disney, and I freaked out. So you got that to look forward to, I guess.
Let's see. I got something. Let's see what we got here.
All right, come on, bring it up. Pull up that store, boy.
Oh, actually, I don't know if we should talk about this or not. Did you see? This is totally opposite direction. Did you see? Did you see? Casey Anthony is.
I knew what you were gonna say. As soon as you said, "I don't know if we should talk about this or not," I'm like, "Oh, we talking about the movie deal / book deal / everything."
What the fuck?
The Casey Anthony
man?
equivalent of the "If I Did It" book. Like, do you remember that where O.J. Simpson wrote "If I Did It"?
Yes.
And it was. That's what this is. It's the modern equivalent of "If I Did It." Here's my movie all about my fuck up. Like,
I can't believe it, man. Like, that's insane to me.
Balls you have to be like, I killed my kid and I got away with it. I'm making a fucking movie. Like, no, you hide forever until people forget your face.
Nobody will ever forget her face, man.
It is a very, very recognizable face.
And then the other thing is, oh man, what was I gonna say? Oh, hey, do you think has there been any updates on new gaming consoles? I haven't been keeping up with it.
There was some information released for PS5. It's going to have like a learning software where basically you can see how well you're playing and like adjust accordingly, which spawned a whole bunch of memes of just the PS4 or the PlayStation logo walking up to a bunch of people and being like, "Smells like bitch in here," and just like walking up to people, slapping them, and being like, "Why are you such a bitch?
Well, hold on.
I'm gonna make it easy for you."
Did you see that Google's DeepMind AI software can play not Doom? Oh man, it's an FPS game. It's a first-person shooter. Right. Kicked everybody's fucking ass.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking hacks.
Yeah,
tool-assisted run.
Tool-assisted run. It's actually a computer.
Fucking wall
hacks.
But
no, that's scary because it was playing against people, which means that we're now training AI how to in combat with now. Not for nothing, right? I get it's video games, but these people that play these games competitively, if we could put them into a soldier to just control it, that would be an amazing soldier.
Well, that's the thing is like, if you had a robot that had the same controls as Call of Duty, you put a professional player in there, the war's over. We won. Send the troops home. JK, they're already home. They're online. They're practicing for war in their off time. And then when they're doing the war, they're winning. Like, that's just how that goes.
I think we're going to save the rest of that for next week when Jordan's here, because I like to talk about the AI shit while he's around.
Yeah.
But we're essentially training them how to go to war and how to fight. There'd be so many tea bags on other people, Andrew said. Yes.
It would be war tactics, getting the enemy's head. The robots are teabagging our why? Why do they do this?
What is going on?
They don't understand. Where's the game now?
So I don't know. So the chat says that they thought that there was a clause in her trial that she couldn't do anything on it. See, I thought that too. But apparently there's some way they're getting around it. She's technically not doing it, or it's such low budget, or I'd have to look it up further. I honestly, I didn't even want to read it because it fucking pissed me off.
I have a feeling it's something along the lines of she is a consultant rather than the producer or part of the project. So she's still going to get a cut. It's going to be through some consulting fee bullshit and not actually for the movie, quote unquote, to get around the legalese about it. But that's how she's going to get away with it. Or she's going to get arrested and tried for breaking that clause and actually see jail time for that.
But what will end up happening is it won't be that much jail time.
Right. No, it won't.
Because this is so controversial, it'll make a fuck ton of money and it'll go into a trust or some bullshit. And then she'll get out and she'll have more money. I mean, it's a fucked up scenario. It's a fucked up world. Fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
So All right, I'm spent. The guys, if you watch this on the tubes, please check out our shows, PBnJ Podcast, .podbean.com, Facebook, right? PB letter NJ Podcast. Just look us up. We're there. Interact with us. You can send us electronic mail. The PBnJ Podcast at gmail.com.
In fact, every time you send an electronic mail, it electrically shocks me. So you have that to look forward to. I guess.
Yeah, he has a little device. Sometimes he moves it around. Occasionally, I hear his pants vibrate. I don't ask questions.
Look, they don't listen to him. They set me up with this until I write the next movie night, and they're not going to let me. They're not going to let the shocking stop until the movie night. So don't send messages unless you know you want to shock me. So just keep that in mind. They just want me to write it, and I don't know if I'm ready. And someone sent a message.
I just send random emails throughout the day.
He does.
Just making sure you're awake. Send. It's like 6:15 in the morning.
I just want to go home. I don't like your basement, Patrick. Why are there so many freezers in here?
Call back. Yeah, and then also if there's any stories, weird shit that comes out, tech news, whatever, right?
I actually need my eyes water.
Right, we're
acting.
Don't mind me. We're happy to go over it and talk about it. Thanks for participating in the chat. Andrew today mostly, but we did have a couple people watch live today, so we thank you. And
Tio Ray, thank you.
Yeah, and my wife. What up, wife?
Hello.
Hello. It's actually just me signed in under her account. But yeah, and then hopefully next week we have our jelly filling back. But other than that, guys, I think we fucking nailed it.
Fucking nailed it.
Nailed it.